there! It is 10 a.m. and you know what that means. It is time for Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants. One thing they tell us as CNAs, no matter where you go, what setting you're working in, is not to develop too close of a relationship with the residents. That's a little hard for us because we're there with them day in, day out, 365 days a year. There is no holidays off. There's no 8 to 5 where the nursing home shuts down overnight, which means we have visitors come in all hours of the day and all hours of the night. Unfortunately, one of the bad habits of being a CNA is we kind of have a tendency to prejudge people, especially if we're not especially fond or close to that resident's family members. But I'm going to talk to you guys just a little bit about not judging the book by its cover when we come back right after this break.
Tune in to CNA TV every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time for long-term care news with Dane Henning.
Welcome back to Katie in the Morning. We all get used to those residents who have their wives or husbands there 8, 10, 12 hours out of the day. You know, the ones that are in the room with you while you're doing the cares, chit-chatting with you, telling you about their family, about their holidays, that their kids came home, that sort of thing. But we also have visitors that come in rarely, far and few between. We have a daughter that brings a strawberry milkshake into her mom once a month. And a lot of times we have a tendency to judge those visitors that come in less frequently. You know, the daughter will come in, talk to the nurse a little bit, take the strawberry shake to her mom, and you'll hear a couple CNAs like, how does she think she can come in here and tell us how to do our job when she's only here once a month? The thing about that is we really don't know the history between the family members, and we don't know the family members altogether. It could be a single mom working 3 jobs, and that's the only day of the month that she has to come in and visit her mom. There could have been like an abusive relationship when she was younger. That parent or uncle or aunt or whoever could have been a complete and total butt to that person their entire lives. And now that they're in a place where they don't have those options to speak to them that way, or maybe if there was abuse in the relationship early on or late before they came into the nursing home, that person may not feel the need to come visit their loved one or their relative on a regular basis. They could live out of state. We really don't know unless we ask those questions. And that's one thing that CNAs have to kind of feel comfortable about doing, those relationships not only with the residents but with the family members as well. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. It helps us care for them, especially those dementia patients, knowing what they did early on in their lives. If you have a gentleman that's getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning every single day and kind of, you know, the tootler, you're the one that goes around, takes all the screws out of the chairs and moves furniture around and tries to take the legs off the table, that sort of thing. One thing we have to keep in mind is a lot of these older gentlemen were farmers in their younger years. So they were getting up at the crack of dawn and going out and getting their day started and, you know, doing the maintenance to the tractor and feeding the animals and that sort of thing. And asking those questions to those family members will really help us provide better care to those residents by knowing what their routine was their entire life. For an example, I took care of a gentleman in an Alzheimer's unit who was constantly up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down the hallway. And he always had this towel that he was placing in the handrail up the hallway at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, knocking on doors, waking other residents up. That was when I first started there. He fast became one of my favorites, mind you, and we'll talk about that one in another segment. But I learned that he was a mail delivery man on a rural route. So 6 o'clock in the morning, that's what he was doing. He was getting up, getting into his car, driving all over the county, opening the mailboxes, putting the mail in, knocking on people's doors if he knew them, personally delivering their mail by hand. So that was really a routine that he was used to his entire life. And as many dementia patients, you will notice as you're taking care of them, that's the thing that really sticks with them, is that routine that they're used to. They may forget your name, they may forget what day it is, but they're not going to forget what they did day in and day out majority of their lives. So definitely keep that in mind. There's different ways, different activities you can get involved with. If they're a stay-at-home mom, they may be willing to help you do the dishes or fold the laundry, or another big one that I've seen a huge success with is taking different objects, buttons, Legos, that sort of thing, the thimbles from sewing kits, and asking them to sort them into different baskets, which one goes with which thing, and they'll do that for hours on end. It keeps them engaged and active, and it also helps you to tend to other people if they're one of those people that's a little more needy in your unit. But by asking those questions to those family members, it will definitely give you a better idea of how to take care of these people. I've even seen Alzheimer's units do scrapbooks where they ask the family members to bring in old pictures and kind of tell a story about their mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt, brother, sister, and kind of place it together. It lets the residents kind of look back, and it may trigger a memory from them as well, in regards to seeing that familiarity, I guess you'd call it, with the picture, or the buttons may remind them of sewing, pictures of the kids when they were younger, and it definitely gets you more engaged with the residents on a one-on-one basis as well. I'm going to let you guys go for today on that note, and I will see you right back here at 10 a.m. tomorrow for Katie in the Morning.